circuit. I'm not entirely sure what episode we're on. Do you happen to remember, Devin?
1,482. Maybe we should
Wrong.
make seasons.
I'm gonna say it's 8,008. I'm gonna say that's what it is. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, do you want to make seasons? No, that's gonna get too complicated because we
Well,
might
yeah,
head
you transition seasons when you get to the next year. So as many episodes or whatever
in a
like
season.
that are in that season.
Well, honestly, by the time somebody clicks on it, they'll know what number it is and they won't care anyway. So what we're doing is we're trying something a little different here. We raced already and we're going to watch the replay and then commentate on our horrible driving. So neither of us has seen each other's racing. So we're going to go through once watching Drew's racing, then we're going to go watch it again with Devin's racing and, talk a bunch of nonsense. So are you ready to go, Devin?
I'm the co-host, Devin.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, I am ready.
He had to get that out before we could continue.
Yes. I
All
might
right.
say it a few times more, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, and just for everybody to know, we are not able to do screen share, so we have to both hit play at the same time. Are you ready, co-host?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. That was difficult.
Oh, both of us started on you. Isn't that convenient?
Too bad they can't see. The poor people never get to see what you're dealing with.
Oh, are you saying they're all poor compared to you, rich influencer?
All right. There we go. I've already passed you. I win. We can stop watching this now.
Look at that amazing turn.
Oh
that
my
was
goodness.
fantastic.
The brakes on this thing were so bad, but I drifted around it pretty well.
I don't know. I never had problem with the brakes. I did have problems with the throttle, though. The throttle seemed to be on and off.
The first half of this lap, I had problems keeping the car on the track. That was the honest problem.
Yeah, there's always that introductory test out
Yep.
lap. Well, for me, it's around lap 3 is when I start having test laps. And for you, it's the first lap because you're like, I'm going to do everything I can in the first lap, and it doesn't work out. And I'm like, I'm going to push my car gradually until I get to where I can't turn it, and then that's when I start crashing. So.
And just so you guys know, we never do any practice laps or anything. We go straight to the race and go, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, we both pick a car that we don't drive very often or don't like the handling of, which tend to be Porsches. Oh, look, it wasn't the...
There's
the
an
third
accident.
lap. I forgot about that one.
Oh, the best thing about you is you forget about everything. You go back and watch a video. You're like, hey, that's me.
Yeah, you never know. You have no idea how weird it is to make a video and then go back the next day, watch that video, and it be like the first time you've ever experienced it. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's kind of scary if you think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there's a Devin in the background going slow.
Really? I don't.
Yeah,
No,
use your stick.
I can't look back. My stick doesn't work that way.
Oh, that's right. You got the steering wheel.
Yeah, and I haven't set the weird analog thing to anything yet because it doesn't do anything right now. But I don't know what to pick to select it. So I don't know.
So at this point, you decided I got damaged, but I'm not going to the pit because we saw your crash, and so I kept going. Just for anybody out there wanting to know, because we like to have a good race, we pit to help each other out, even if we don't need to.
Yeah, to maintain spacing. That way it's oh, well, outside of your crash, any spacing, so if one goes in the pit, both go into the pit to try and maintain the spacing of the race.
To give each other a chance.
Especially since sometimes these pits are very punishing.
Yes.
The
40 seconds.
What is it? The
Austrian ring, the Red Bull ring.
Red Bull Ring and
Trial Mountain.
Trial Mountain have the
I think
worst
they're almost a minute long just to get to your box.
Yeah. No, it's a full minute to get all the way through the pit. It's
Wow.
35, 40 seconds to get to your box, and then it's that, tire change, fuel, fixing, damage. From there, it's By the time you get out, it's almost a minute, depending on what all you have to do.
The other thing I dislike about these replays is the time apart isn't apparent up there. I mean, they just don't have the time, the split time. That's what I wanted, the split time. So we need to find a way to record this so that you can see both of our times and everything. I don't know how we're going to work that. Maybe everybody down in the comments should bother Devin to start uploading YouTube videos of our races, because some people might prefer watching Devin's messy driving over mine.
Yeah.
Um,
My loss of control due to pushing it too hard, as opposed to just bad driving.
Opposed to, isn't pushing it too hard also considered bad driving?
No, because good racers always hold the car at that like near loss limit, and lower experience but really close to like top tier tend to get close to that, but then like push over it too much. So I'm like near top tier.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna go with that.
Okay.
I just gotta dial it in. I'm like,
we'll find
turn
out
to 11, but I just need to dial it in.
We'll find out when we go
like
to
15 and then 6.
Well, we'll find that out when we go watch your car drive around the block. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you had more damage, a lot more damage than I.
So I
So
say we gauge it based on the fastest lap.
well, you're gonna win that anyway because you have a steering wheel. I'm just gonna go with that. How about that?
No, best driver NA.
What? Well, then that means you'd have to go back to a controller, which would be punishing for you.
That actually, it wouldn't be that punishing because I was decent with the controller I had.
Yeah, but you've gotten so used to the steering wheel, now you'd get confused for a little bit. I'd have a little chance.
There would be a learning curve, not quite training wheel learning curve, but like
Muscle memory learning curve.
yeah. Every once in a while, I'd spin the pedals backwards just because I like tried to push the pedals too soon.
Yeah.
You know, that type
Just
of thing.
just so everybody knows, I think we had like a 13-second difference. You were 13 seconds behind me through the rest of the race here.
I was 13 seconds when we both exited the pit, which is coming up in this lap.
No, we just got out. Weren't you paying attention?
We did?
Yeah.
Really?
Oof, you're not even watching the screen?
I am watching the screen, but
Yeah, I just went in the pit, did not change my tires, and came right back out.
that's probably why I didn't notice, because I spent a little bit of time in the pit.
Yeah, you did.
Not
Well,
much, but
we'll
a
see that in a
little bit.
minute. We'll see that in a second.
See, this is where we were talking earlier about how he took a turn and he was sliding.
Oh, drifting
And
the
he
whole
said,
way.
yeah, and he was talking about how that's probably not the fastest way of driving around the track. And I told him to go watch some YouTube videos about the Sophie cars and how they talk about how the Sophie cars actually drift, like do slight drifts around almost every corner because it is faster. So talking about that like limit of traction, the best traction is where your back end is ever so slightly sliding out.
Yeah.
Because if you look up videos on the way tires work and how traction with tires work, is the patch of tire that's on the ground is the only section that has grip, and as it transitions to the next micro section, it especially under turning, it's slightly twisting the tire. So when you're slightly sliding, it's that piece of tarmac that's touching the rubber is still gripping, but the part that's detaching is actually sliding out instead of releasing, and that's why it's like a slight burnout, and that's why you have more speed, is because you're at that edge of traction.
Well, me, not really, but a professional driver, yes.
No, your slides in that turn were actually pretty close to what Sophie would be doing.
Okay, well, I'll have to go look that up. Not that one.
Not that one. But where I started talking about it, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Yeah. I'm just driving perfect, I guess, without even trying.
Yeah, so I ended up getting up to like 15 or 14 seconds behind. By now, I think I was at like 12. By the
Yeah,
end
you're
of the race,
catching
I
me.
think I was at 10. I think.
Yeah, I was being a little bit more cautious around the turns because I couldn't push this car very hard without flying off the track. So I was like, there's no point if I'm just going to hit something. And I was really
But
trying to just stay ahead of you.
yeah, usually when we're racing and recording the full video while we're racing, um, he tends to do better, and I tend to do worse because we're both talking, and I drive much better when I'm quiet. So I was actually silent these last 2 laps, and
Yeah, I was pretty bored.
yeah, I ended up taking the fastest lap, as you can see, by a fair amount, 3 seconds. Yeah, just over 3 seconds. And I actually improved it even more on the final lap.
Something I wanted to bring up with you on the stream, or on the recording, we talked about doing a 12-hour of Nürburgring in a better car than this, because I don't think I could handle it in this. But if as a live stream, one of our first live streams, and we'll look at getting some sponsors and maybe even a link to donate to a charitable cause. And if anybody's interested in that, please let us know down in the comments, because that's something we enjoy doing, endurance racing, and it wouldn't be competitive. It'd be this competitive, I guess, but more so can the both of us handle 12 hours straight of Nürburgring with just a 5-minute bathroom break if need be. And we have some quirky rules we want to do. Is if you have to go to the bathroom, you got to pull into the pits before you can go, and just not click change tires. And we also wanted to do 1x tire wear and 1x fuel consumption, so that is kind of, maybe we have to get fuel and tires, maybe we don't, we're not sure. But for 12 hours of that, it'd be an interesting thing to do, and maybe raise some money for charity. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked. You just said we talked about it earlier, so yeah, I was definitely down for it. We'd have to carefully plan it because
Oh
our
yeah,
schedules don't exactly line up very well
it'd be at
anymore.
least a month or two out, and I still have to figure out. I haven't done streaming, so it'd be a whole testing phase. So in the next few months, hopefully we'd have more
Yeah,
subscribers by then. I don't think 24 would cut it.
yeah. So let's see, 202. Let's see if it ends as soon as I pass the finish line. I don't know
No,
if
it
it does.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. Well, oh, it was
Okay,
slightly
ever
faster.
so slightly,
Yeah, it
but
wasn't
yeah.
even at 1/10. All
All
right, so
right,
we're gonna just hit
now
ready. Three, or let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. And then we're just gonna swap it directly over to your name. Yeah.
All right, now we get to watch some fantastically bad driving mixed with fantastically good driving. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. See, I was just even the whole time. You,
So this
however.
car sat in first, and the reason why Drew took off right at the beginning is because I have flappy paddles, and so I didn't have the opportunity to flappy paddle out of first right away. So he got that early shift acceleration.
And then I flew off
Luckily,
the track.
I went around the corner better, so we're good.
Well, I didn't realize the brakes were gonna be that bad. I should have known because it's a Porsche. Now, I would
Yeah,
like to find a way that you and I can get into a daily race together and just have fun that way, because I feel the daily race mechanics are better quality altogether, and it makes for a better driving experience.
yeah. I wish this
Holy
replay showed
moly!
like throttle amount,
Um, I might, maybe I can.
G-forces, turning angle.
Oh, maybe not that, but
I looked on there and it doesn't have it has race info or
oh, there it
car
is.
info
It
at all.
shows how much throttle and brake input, because you're kind of just
Oh, okay. I was still sitting on the
oh, right
display.
into the wall.
Yeah.
Oh
I hit the
man.
gas and it just kind of
I kind of want to rewind that for the
flew.
viewers, but they can rewind it. I'll leave it at that. They can rewind it. Oh man, your car was really taken out too.
I think this is more lag than anything else because I was pretty steady through this turn. Um,
So that's interesting. The recording still catches the lag.
yeah, that's why when we talked about the us hitting each other in one of the previous races where we kind of collided with each other. So we were on like neck and neck on that second long turn leading into the long left, or actually one
Yeah.
and two. It was a third turn, like the long left into that straightaway.
Yeah.
We were neck and neck, and then somehow we both collided with each other. And he claimed it was me bouncing into him, and I claimed it was him bouncing into me, and it was probably both. If we're
Yeah.
honest, probably
Yeah.
both.
It's hard to tell when the replays aren't trustworthy either.
Yeah.
And you said at this point you're going to keep going, which was kind of crazy the way you're driving, to be honest.
Well, like I said, the recording doesn't show the actual stability I still had.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of shaking all over the place and squeaking, whereas it actually didn't squeak that much.
All
Like,
right,
like screech around the track.
I don't think I'm happy with this as a future thing. I almost want to do. Maybe we could do the voice recording like this, but then you send me your video of your replay. I know I messed everything up for that, but you send me your video replay and then I splice that in.
Well, I mean, it's going to have the exact same thing, unless you're...
No, because your
you'd technically
replay.
be able to take the same file, put them next to each other, because...
No, your
Well, I
file.
mean, yeah,
Your replay
Your-
will have your perspective, so mine will be jumping around, not yours.
yeah, that's true.
Actually, so if you share the video, we can watch mine, then watch yours, and then I'll just cut the in between loading and unloading type thing. That's a good idea. I'm not going to tell
Yeah,
all
so-
the viewers how to do this, so next
So
time
we
we'll
could
do
get all of
better.
our PG-13 stuff out in that, like, section in the middle, and then...
Well, yeah, I feel like it's a higher rating, but okay. Oh, and you hit the barrier head on.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
that's when I was colorfully unhappy, and
And you still had a purple sector.
yeah, I was definitely doing good until that second. That's when we decided to pit, and
Yeah.
the,
Which you forgot about
the pit
last
that
time.
I missed in the in the last one.
Yeah, this quality is frustrating me.
Yeah,
That-
it's not
that's
nearly as bad as yours was in the previous one. Your car was literally bouncing from like
yeah.
the outside edge to the inside edge, back and forth.
We have to find a way to do this without the internet being a part of it, because I just don't think my internet's good enough for this kind of. But it's funny because when I'm actually doing daily races, I'm driving just fine. Everybody else is fine too. It's
Yeah.
almost like because we're talking and using more of the data or the internet.
That's possible.
We're just talking nonsense. This is exactly what the show needs to be. I like it. Now, I noticed at this point in time, you do not have a purple lap in the top right, and the fastest lap belongs to Max Biker. I just want to point that out. It took you to go to the pits, get a new set of tires, fix your damage before you could even challenge me.
Well, I probably could have challenged you without going in, but I wanted like a fair shake on it by getting like corrected suspension.
I needed to
I
turn.
don't
needed-
like driving with toe in and out on
I
my
know.
car.
I needed to turn on the crossing the pit lane line, because that would have given you a 3-second penalty and really pissed you off.
I still would have taken the fastest lap in the last lap because I would have served my penalty and then finished the last lap with the fastest lap. So it wouldn't have changed much. It just would have changed when I took the fastest lap.
I don't know. You push hard because once you get down to that last lap, you tend to get a little bit more flustered and can't do it.
Only
other-
the only time I really have flusteredness, just like you, is when we're neck and neck and we both know we need to push, and so we're both pushing.
Yeah.
And if you're pulling away because you're pushing and lucking out, or I'm pushing and
Hitting the wall.
and just doing awesome.
Says the guy that hit the wall in front of me.
I was testing the limits of the car.
Yeah, well, and the
Okay.
limits of the barriers also. What is Super
I think
GT?
the barriers were too hard. Like this car is
Sup-
definitely a more rigid car than what the barrier is. That's for sure.
Does Super
Barrier.
GT say meeting barrier?
Barrier.
I still think you should race him one day. Get on his server somehow.
He races in the U.S.
Yeah,
It's,
Scott
Matt
Chegg.
Super Speed or something like that.
No, I thought it was Scott Chegg.
No, it's something Speed. He might have
Oh, Scott
another one
Speed.
that is.
That's
that.
right,
I did the slide at the same spot. damaged the back.
Wow.
But I still ended up taking the fastest lap in the next two laps, even with the damage.
Of course you did, because you got flappy paddles. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, look at that brake job. You braked almost as good as I did earlier.
Yeah, except I did go off the track, so there's that.
Well, I didn't get penalized for going off the track, so clearly I didn't do anything wrong.
You're right, Mr. Guy who turned off penalties.
I don't think that penalty's off. I think that penalty's on. Which is kind of interesting because neither of us got those penalties. So maybe I did turn it off.
Yeah,
I
didn't get a penalty for hitting a wall, and I didn't get a penalty for going off the track.
Yeah,
So they
the
must be
barrier
off.
strikes, I turned that off because I think that's just stupid. If you hit a wall, it is so damaging to your car in this mode that there's no point in having a penalty also.
Yeah, it shouldn't negatively affect you in races where there's grass before you hit the barrier, but it should in races where you can wall ride.
You know, you need... Yeah. Apologies. They need to introduce or bring the Monaco GP race. I really think that that would be a punishing, amazing race. Imagine Tokyo, except faster. It's just...
I
that...
don't really follow
No,
real
what...
racing very well, so
I know,
don't know.
but no, I'm talking Tokyo as in, you know, the Tokyo Expressway that we race?
Yeah.
The really long, long straight. So imagine that, but a shorter track, and everything's a wall. All the buildings next to you are walls. So if you hit something, your whole race is over, especially with damage. So they need
I
to.
am purple sector.
They need to. Yeah, you've been purple sectoring the whole lap. You need
I
to.
have?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. So they need to introduce Monaco GP as a racetrack on this game. That'd be good.
Yeah. They should also bring that, was it R11 from
Yeah,
the older Grand Turismo?
I like
That would be fun.
That was a fun track. And you know, I'm all for bringing the old tracks back, but don't bring old tracks back and call it the old track and make it a completely different new track. Like, what's the name of the one you just did?
Grand Valley.
Grand Valley Speedway.
Is
That
not
is
even
nothing.
close to what it used to
It's
be.
absolutely nothing like the old Grand Valley because I loved that racetrack when I was a kid.
Yeah, it had that long straight with the
I mean,
like,
when I
light
was
tunnel,
when I was a kid 5
that,
years
like,
ago, you know.
that really hard S curve, which some of the videos I've watched talk about how they're making it for sport, but racing on Gran Turismo 7 Sport online race, and that track had a lot of passing points. They were high speed pass points, but they were still passing points.
Especially when you introduce the draft, because in those games there was no drafting, or there was no drafting physics that I remember.
There was, but it
wasn't
not
like it
very
is now.
strong.
Yeah, it's not like it is now.
The sound would get quiet, like the air sound across the car, but you wouldn't really go that much faster.
Yeah.
But like there was that S turn at the end, which was actually similar to the way they changed Trial Mountain, where instead of having
just so you know, you're talking to yourself. Nobody remembers this track. Well, at least I don't. And most people watching this are gonna be too young anyway.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's videos. Oh, I meant to bring that up. There are PlayStation 1, 2 emulators that you can play the old Gran Turismos on.
Yeah, but have you seen the graphics? They're so horrible you don't want to. It's not like you remember.
They were always that horrible.
Yeah, but back then it was such good technology you didn't notice. Nowadays you look back and you go, wow, this is not good.
Admittedly, I tried to play Twisted Metal, like one of the original ones. I was like, how did I ever know that
what was
car
going
was
on?
That car. Yeah.
I would love for them to make a new Twisted Metal. That would be amazing. Especially
so,
like in a Grand Theft Auto sandbox style. That'd be really good.
Yeah, with like, well, they can't really make the maps too large.
Well, they don't have to. They just make them like an arena, like a demolition derby arena.
Yeah, well, that's what they always were like.
Anyway, wow, that went quick. Thanks for stopping by. That was a really bad way to do the race, so we're going to do it better next time. Let us know in the comments if Do you have any ideas on how you'd like to see it? Um, Devin, got anything?
Yeah, I think one of the next videos we're going to be doing here soon is we're going to go through and demonstrate how totally not good, totally screwed up the Gran Turismo 7 transmission is. We did some testing before to try and get like fastest lap, highest top speed type things, and we found that there were really weird glitches in the system. And so we're gonna see if we can replicate those glitches and post them for you guys, so you have a point of reference for why we absolutely
Yeah.
hate the transmission system in this game.
It's
So
almost not even worth buying the transmission, except it does give you an extra gear every now and then. It's hard to
yeah,
tell which.
as long as you don't change it per track, it's actually a, better than the default. But making changes doesn't
Yeah,
really help that
but
much.
that screws you over really bad.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
we'll talk more about the problems we have with it when we make that video.
Well, thanks for
Yeah,
sticking
don't
around, everybody.
yeah
If you have stuck around, make sure you put in that comments. I watched the whole thing. I like that.
yeah
Anything else, Devin?
yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment in the way he said, or whatever you feel like, and give us money.